when I think about movies, war movies, and I try to pick a favorite war movie, I'm kind of usually drawn to a particular era, and that is World War II. And the reason behind that for me is that World War II, I think, is a big reminder for people in a world that, people in the United States don't believe that war can happen to you. We've grown up in a society where war is something that you decide to participate in. It's not something that just happens to you. And I think World War II is the last big war that, if the United States didn't participate in that war, the world probably would be a completely different place. Japan pretty much dragged us into the war, kicking and screaming, with Pearl Harbor. And so it's kind of a reminder for those of us in a country that don't think that war is real, We've grown up with war on TV and war in movies, and it's pretty much something that in our minds is fiction. Like, our minds are hardwired to think that this kind of stuff doesn't happen for real. This is just stuff that you see on TV. And that's not true. So I'm gonna list two favorites. One of them, I would say, would be the TV series from HBO, Band of Brothers. And I think that's just because it explores so many different aspects of what war is. And it gets to a real personal level by interviewing people who were actually in the war. There's interviews with Major Winters and Bill Garnier, and these men are, they're still alive. World War II is something that happened within a lifetime of now, and they're telling stories about this war that are bringing them tears even now, years after participating in the war. And I think it makes it real. It makes it believable when you have somebody who was actually there describing to you what it was like. And then they go on in each episode to kind of highlight what these guys were talking about. And the other one I would say would be Saving Private Ryan. And this one is because basically a good war movie, a war movie that you're watching, is a movie that you will not enjoy watching. And the opening sequence of Saving Private Ryan, where they're storming the beachhead in Normandy, is probably as close to real warfare as you can get on the screen. I mean, it was painful to watch. It definitely shows how horrible war really is. It takes it to a real level. You see the fear in the eyes of the soldiers as they're getting ready to come off of their landing craft. As they're in the water on their way to the beachhead, you can see the fear in the eyes of all the soldiers. It seems so real, and they seem like, real people. And then when that gate drops and the rounds start coming into the boats, you can imagine yourself being there, and you can imagine the fear that these guys are going through. There's guys laden down with ammunition and guns, jumping over the side of their boats and drowning because they're weighed down with all of this metal. But they'd rather jump over the side of the boat than march straight forward into these machine guns that are just firing right into the front gate of the boat. The scene was incredible, but it's also terrifying. I guess what I want to say is, I feel like there's definitely a dark side to humanity. And if you've ever read or studied any history, you'll know without a shadow of a doubt that that's true. And I think to believe that the Enlightenment and the technology of the modern era has put that to an end would be a naive thing to do. And I guess I just feel like shows like Band of Brothers and movies like Saving Private Ryan can remind us of that. These are things that happen within a lifetime of now, and they very well could happen again. And I think we need to be careful in the way that we treat each other and the way that we relate with foreign countries, because this is the kind of thing that can happen. And the amount of life lost in World War II is unbelievable when compared with modern conflict. I've been rambling to these two cameras for like 20 minutes now. I guess it's just kind of a way to keep myself entertained while I drive. But it's an interesting topic. I think it's a topic that people don't discuss very often anymore. Just to wrap it up, I want to thank the 45 Reason for putting on this contest. And hope you guys enjoy the video.